You can hire the best esthetician, but if she doesn't truly believe your values and what you're doing as a company and align with the brand, that's not going to be a great fit. Will she bring revenue in? Yeah, I'm sure. But is that something you really want to constantly be fighting? I guess this is just kind of something I've learned over the years with Summer is we may end up hiring someone who's not the most qualified, but because I know that they believe in what we do and they believe in our mission and they're trainable, they might end up being the best employee that we have.
Today, I'm thrilled to welcome two amazing women who are truly revolutionizing the beauty industry, Summer Layton and Lexie Engel. Summer is the founder of Habit Medspa and Facial Bar in Richmond, Virginia, and the kind of leader who built her business by thinking like a client first. She introduced Richmond's first open concept beauty bar and has grown Habit into one of the top skincare clinics in Central Virginia. She's also getting ready to launch the Aesthetic CEO, a new platform for beauty professionals that's all about real education, no gatekeeping, and practical tools that actually help you grow. Lexie is the marketing and operations director at Habit and the person who makes sure the brand feels as good as it looks. She's behind the scenes shaping everything from client experience to social content, and also co-founded the Aesthetic CEO alongside Summer. She's got a real passion for helping beauty businesses grow through thoughtful strategy and community. These two bring so much heart, hard work, and honesty to everything they do, and we are so excited to talk with them today. Welcome, Summer and Lexie.
This ad is brought to you by Boulevard, the beauty industry's most loved client experience platform. Sign up and see how easy switching softwares can be. Onboarding is simple, supportive, and actually kind of fun. Today's listeners can save 10% and get free guided setup. Simply head over to joinblvd.com/podcast to book a demo and get started.
Let's start at the beginning. How did Habit come to life? What inspired you to open a med spa with a fresh take on the industry?
Funny story. We didn't start out as Habit. We started out as a company called Sugar and Hive Beauty Bar. So there have been lots of pivots over the years. When I opened back in 2017, open concept facial bars, beauty bars were not a thing. There was probably just one or two in the United States. One was in Colorado, and I loved the concept. I knew Richmond would welcome it, and they did. And then I realized that I didn't really align with the brands. And so a couple years later, I brought Lexie on, and then we did a whole rebrand back in, what year was it? Like 2022?
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked on it for about a year before we released the rebrand. So we became Habit in 2022. Officially.
You guys complement each other so well, and I feel like I've gotten to know your guys' personalities just over the course of seeing you guys with Boulevard, and you joined us for the customer panel at AmSpa this year. How did you find that collaboration or find that mesh? Was it just natural when you met Lexie? It was just a good fit?
Well, I liked Lexie immediately when I interviewed her. And at the time, I really just...
Aries.
Lexie's like it.
I appreciated how honest that she was. She was pregnant at the time, and she said, I just have to tell you I'm pregnant. I really loved that she was honest, and her and I think our first interview was 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we did a second 2-hour interview. I was very nervous about hiring a marketing person. It was kind of instantaneous in my eyes, but we definitely have grown together over the past couple years. And I always tell people we're the same person in two bodies. And she kind of reads my mind before I even say it. And I don't have to, she just understands and she gets it. And she helped create the brand. And she's very much a part of the fabric of what Habit is and who we are today and what the brand looks like and how it's perceived. And for me, it's been easy. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it has for sure. But I think at the same time, Summer's not a provider in the business. So she is constantly looking at it from a business standpoint. Prior to that, she's always worked with people who are providers, and then they would, work up into a management role, and then they would come off the floor. And so I think it made a difference where she had somebody she could collaborate with, even though it started at the marketing level and now it's grown into a position that I don't think initially she probably would have put a Indeed, job description for to hire somebody for what I do. But marketing goes hand in hand with sales. So everything that I was doing, I would have to, discuss that with her, and we would bounce things off of each other. And now it's just where we both are very similar in our strengths, but we both handle things differently and we look at things differently. And so when we have a discussion about something, she has an input and then I have an input, and then we are easily able to come up with a solution. So it does work really well, and she's able to see the business as a whole and step back and not be in the day-to-day stuff, where I can kind of oversee everything and whatever really needs her attention. Like there's a lot of things I just fix on my own, but if it is something that needs her attention, then we can take it there and it's not, you know, an issue. So it works out well.
Yeah, when I hired Lexie, I really just wanted someone to help me with social media. I mean, social media is a huge job. And I did it for several years. And what I didn't realize going into it, and it's one of those things as a business owner, you kind of learn as you go. And it's kind of a naive approach, but I'd rather learn that way than have someone tell me what to do. Marketing is really integrated into everything that we do, like in our brand and the essence of who we are and how we do things and the consumer experience and what it looks like on our grid on Instagram. And everything that we do is just so connected on a higher level. And most people don't realize that. Getting into it, hiring her just for social media, I went into it so naively. And I'm so glad that we are where we are. But it's a really beautiful thing watching the growth and everything that we've built, because she's built it along with me, this new brand, and it's been pretty amazing.
Like marketing was my passion, but building businesses has always been like a huge thing for me. Like I don't sit still. And so I think I just kind of have this thing where like, even though it's not a marketing thing, I'll be like, oh, but like we could do this way. Or so that's kind of like what led me into like the operations side of things, because I was seeing how things were operating, or when we did transition to Boulevard, then seeing how things reporting on the back end and how we need to set things up differently. And I do have a voice and I use it. And so I'm not afraid to like bring that up if it's something. And we have a small team, so it was very easily to like communicate those things.
It sounds like the perfect person to have as your right hand.
It is.
Very complimentary.
Yeah, I hope that we always get to work together. And I can't imagine a life where I don't get to work with her. So.
That's a great thing. When you talk about brand, obviously very big for you guys. Your brand is clean, consistent, approachable. How did you develop that identity, and what were those non-negotiables for you?
So for me, I wanted something that was elevated and clean and honest and approachable and warm and welcome and very neutral. And how I started at Sugar and Hive, I went into it and it was very like prim and proper and southern and pinks and blues and
which that's not Summer. If you know Summer, like you'll never capture
it's not on brand for her.
No,
I mean,
it's not. It really isn't.
I love Southern food. I love the South. I'll always live in the South. It's where I'm comfortable. It's my home. But I'm also very neutral. I'm not so prim and proper. So I was living a brand for several years and it wasn't who I was. So when we created Habit, we really wanted to create an elevated experience. We wanted everyone who walked through our doors to really make us part of their journey and become more of a lifestyle as opposed to just coming in for a quick service. And so I think we've achieved it on a whole nother level than I ever thought we would. And it's been really amazing to watch the brand grow.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's where the name Habit was. We want our clientele to create this habit of good skin, healthy skin.
Definitely more of a lifestyle. We've achieved that. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, and it speaks to your client experience of it's more than just, hey, drop in for a quick facial.
Yeah, that's not it at all.
This is going to be an ongoing, clients are returning. They feel like they're part of almost like a community and like have a whole team of like, they're helping me achieve my skin goals at Habit.
And I think the other part, and it kind of like sets us apart, is we put our clients and our people over profit, right? So like if somebody comes in, we're going to put together a treatment plan that is specifically for them, recommend products, whether we carry it on our shelf or not. Our clients even can get recommendations if they're like, hey, let's be honest, I'm just going to go buy products at Target. What do you recommend? And we'll write it up. We'll be like, this is exactly what you should do, because it should be realistic. You shouldn't have to buy a $300 moisturizer to get results. And the other thing too is like, we know when to refer them out. We know, like, not we, like the providers know when to refer them out. They know when to say no, that they're like, they can't do something. They're not in it to sell our clients all these packages that they may not even be a good candidate for. It's truly about like their skin and how to show results with their skin. And that comes into play. And like we have a medical director now that's an NP. If we need to prescribe medication for acne or rosacea or something of that nature, we have the ability to do so. And, you know, I have people ask me all the time, like, we do complimentary consults. It's very abnormal for a med spa, but education is free in our spa. No matter what, somebody can come in and have consult with one of our providers, talk about skincare, talk about at home, ask any questions you want. And I had someone the other day that like DM'd me photos, and I was like, well, let me get with our provider, got with our director of aesthetics, set up the consultation. She knows it's absolutely free. And you're building that relationship. She's already told 2 people just from she hasn't even come in yet. And we've already booked consultations with them. So it's like, you're really, the brand in itself isn't just, you know, your colors, your logo, your fonts. It's the experience that you're delivering, and it feeds into our client experience.
Absolutely. I feel like what you just said so much ties into the approachable aspect and also meeting clients where they are. I feel like that's something that a lot of people fail to do, where it's like, hey, we have this $300 moisturizer on the shelf. This is what I have to sell, and there's nothing else I'm giving you. So the fact that you guys are going above and beyond and saying, listen, be real with me. Where are you going to be buying these products from? And I'm more than happy to educate you on what those recommendations are.
Yes.
Speaks volumes.
I mean, at the end of the day, we want to always do what's right for the patient. We want to meet someone where they are. Our philosophy is results-driven skincare. That's all we do. That's our entire focus is skincare. And so for us, when people come to us, it's gratifying for the whole team, me, Lexie, everyone, because they're coming to us with a skin issue 99% of the time. And we can see their trajectory to good skin, and it's amazing to watch. So I always feel like if you do the right thing, good things come.
Yeah. And the transformations that you see are incredible. Like we have a client, actually, I went and got my nails done like randomly at the spa, and this girl was really struggling with acne. And we were sitting there talking about it, and she was like, yeah, one of the girls here went to aesthetic school and she told me to put cucumber on my face. And I was like, what? And I was like, no, come do a consultation. She's like, I don't have a ton of money to spend. That's why I haven't been to the dermatologist. And I was like, you don't have to spend a ton of money. Like we have a whole product line specifically for acne. And I don't think there's one product over like $60. And she's came, and now she's a member. She comes every single month. Like it's affordable for her, and her skin results are insane. And then when I see her, she like brightens up, and like the confidence that you see, like people who don't struggle with acne, like I did an Accutane, and so like I struggled with it. I get it. And when you get relief from that like self-consciousness, that's why I got really good at makeup, because I had horrible acne. When you can relieve somebody of that, I mean, that is like the most beautiful thing. And I think it's so rewarding to like see people just like their whole spirit changes.
That's life-changing for somebody who has acne or has struggled with acne. You know how defeating it can feel to not even feel comfortable in your own skin to go out and about.
We've had clients that come to us and they go to bed with a full face of makeup because they don't want their husband to see their skin. And I just can't, like, that breaks my heart, you know? And so we keep those people at the forefront of everything we do.
They might need a new husband though.
I think it was her lack of confidence. I don't think...
It's hard if you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, and acne is something that if you've worked with patients that have it, it's uncomfortable and painful for them to have on the outside, but it's also like an uncomfortable, it hurts. Yeah. It's very hard to treat on your own. You need a lot of guidance. So it's very important that you guys have that as the cornerstone of what you're doing.
We work in the beauty industry, so clunky software is just not the vibe. Boulevard is sleek, made for beauty pros, and gets you compliments, not complaints from clients. Podcast listeners can get 10% off plus free guided setup. So head over to joinblvd.com/podcast to claim the special offer.
When you're building teams and developing your providers and even front desk, how are you guys really ingraining those values? And like, what are some tips for keeping those values at the forefront of everybody's mind?
It's funny because when I first opened, you're so hungry for employees and you just kind of hire everyone that comes your way. Now that we are established, we're 8 years into it, we have providers that know who we are. They've followed us for years. They want to work on our team. They come to us with a lot of experience, and they're coming to us because they share our mission and our vision. Now we're so fortunate because we're in a place where we can hire people that are coming to us with that shared philosophy on how to approach skincare. And it wasn't always like that. I mean, it's ingrained in everything we do, from our marketing to the experience to how our treatments are put together. And so now we attract people that have that vision and that mission. And it's not something that we have to work really hard at on the back end. They just are coming to us with that. And because of that, we have providers that have been with us for years now. Yeah. And so we have very low turnover, and I'm excited because we have worked so hard to get to this space where we are now the place to work. And we've worked really hard to get there.
And on the flip side of that, like, we can hire for experience. We get these amazing resumes. But then when you look at, the admin and the upper management side of things, we started hiring with people who align with those missions, who aligned with how we see the company going. And yeah, you can hire the best esthetician, but if she doesn't truly believe your values and what you're doing as a company and align with the brand, that's not going to be a great fit. Will she bring revenue in? Yeah, I'm sure. But is that something you really want to constantly be fighting? I guess this is just kind of something I've learned over the years with Summer is we may end up hiring someone who's not the most qualified, but because I know that they believe in what we do and they believe in our mission and they're trainable, they might end up being the best employee that we have.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest keys for success when building a team, especially with med spas, because it usually is, like a small business.
Yeah.
It's not a corporate setting. Is everyone having that same mission always makes it feel like we're moving all in the same direction versus kind of someone just looking out for themselves, just here for the 9 to 5, get my treatments in and then leave and not be emotionally vested. So I think that's something where when you build something that is desired not only by the consumer, but also the providers, they will come being bought into the mission.
And sometimes you have to remind people of that because it's not every company's culture. And like Summer and I have told people before, like, we are human too. Like, we care very much about our providers and everything. And it's not just like, all right, 5:00, we shut the computer, we're done. Like, we are, both of us, like, we're very family oriented. We're very there for our providers. If anybody were to ever need anything, we're there, say the word. So I think it's kind of like some people need to adjust to the culture to let that guard down, but it is a huge thing within Habit. So it's really beautiful.
Which I love because I feel like that's not the industry standard.
No.
The norm is that you come in at 9, you leave at 5, and there's no relationship, there's no care, empathy whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I think that alone speaks to why you have people seeking you out and why you have low turnover.
Yeah.
Which is amazing in itself.
The people that have that tendency to work in places like that or that sort of work ethic don't last long.
I've never been good at that. Like, if you're on my team, you're my family.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to ask how your life is outside of work.
We're going to be close.
I want to know if you're doing good. I'm there for you. I want you to be there for me if I need help type of vibe. So
yeah, work isn't, we spend majority of our time at work.
Yeah.
And, we want to celebrate successes, whether they're professional successes or personal successes or, be there for everyone. And so not everyone is used to that, like Lexie said. And so they're just not our people.
The aesthetic space seems to be more crowded than ever at this point, right? It's a growing industry, forever changing industry. What makes Habit truly different from other businesses and facial bars? And how are you conveying that to your guest?
Usually people say the moment they walk in the door, but it starts before that. It starts with the client experience that somebody told them about by word of mouth. It starts with the emails that they signed up for to get $20 off their first facial. It starts with our Google reviews. It starts with how people find you. So whether that's through somebody else or it's through the website, through Google, people walking by. So everything from how our business looks to the font we use to, the brand voice, how our front desk answers the phone, how we train the staff to handle certain things. Everything is with that same brand voice. And then with a results-driven model, so to speak, it is a different model than other med spas in the area. We also focus on skin, so we don't offer injectables. So that's a huge difference in terms of how we're different in specifically like our area. But ultimately, I think it just comes down to building a brand, being consistent. And for us, it was, we want to deliver results. We want people to come in and after 3 months, they can see a huge difference in their skin. And it's not just these like fluffy, there's nothing wrong with those spa like facials. You're going to relax and get a facial, but that's honestly one of our biggest complaints is people are like, well, like I didn't get to like fully relax for like 90 minutes and do this and do that. And I'm like, well, we're not really that kind of spa, so to speak. So
yeah, I mean, our biggest differentiator is definitely the fact that we take the holistic approach to spa services and we combine it with the clinical approach. Mm-hmm. Like we have dermatology and PM staff. Our training is very clinical in nature. Our products that we use are backed by science. Everything we do is just so different than how everyone else does it. While there's like 500 other businesses offering facials, they're not our facials. It's just not the same. I've been all over the US, all over the world getting facials, and there's no comparison because we do things just so differently in our own way. And people try to duplicate that, but they cannot duplicate it because we do so many other things to get to that point when we're delivering the service. Yeah. So I would say that's our biggest differentiator and also our culture. We're very, very different than other spas in the sense that we live and breathe our mission and our values, and it's ingrained in everything that we do.
I mean, even down to like the environment and how the spa's designed. We had a fire like a year or so ago, and Summer designs the spa. Like she does research and like really finds, what aesthetically she wants to get across. And we've had people come in and they're like, who's your designer? And we're like, oh, well, like our owner actually handles it. And when you walk into other spas, it's almost like a very like medical, sterile kind of feel. This isn't. Like this is really like you walk in and like you just can relax. Like it's very clean. It's neutral. You don't feel overwhelmed. And that's really awesome too. So like even if you were to take us and have a facial at our spa, and then we take the same exact facial at another spa, you still have your client experience, you still have the environment you're putting them in, you still have your staff and how they interact with them. So it really does make a difference. I mean, when you're looking at it from that perspective, you can deliver a completely different facial and experience, even though you got the exact same facial.
Yeah, so absolutely.
The environmental factors.
Looking ahead, what's new or what's on the horizon for Habit? Is there any growth or new changes, anything exciting coming up for you guys?
The past couple years, we had a fire in 2023 and also we had the pandemic, right? A couple years before that. And so I kind of went into this place where I just did nothing. Like I didn't want to expand. I didn't want to make any changes. I just wanted
stabilize.
I just wanted to just sit for a while. And now I'm definitely in this expansion mode. I'm looking at different locations. I'm looking at different markets and figuring out where we're going to go next. So we will expand. We are stepping into the education world, and we're also stepping into more mentorship and learning from a different angle. I have a vested interest to help other spas be successful. I know how to do it. I know exactly the formula that works and how to bring people from point A to point B, and partnering with Lexie on the education piece is something that we're really excited about.
So on that note, talking about education, something that's huge in the industry and something that you guys touched on earlier, can you tell us a little bit more about what's to come with the education component?
We're starting a platform. It's called the Aesthetic CEO. And so basically we have this vision. We're in a lot of med spa owner groups. And here's the difference between being a provider and coming into a business and truly being a business owner. And I don't want to say supplying the providers, but hiring the providers. A lot of the times these providers come in and they have no clue what to do on the business side. There's very rare that you find somebody who is medically very smart as well as business smart, like they're unicorns. So you get people in these Facebook groups that are asking, like, in our world, the most basic questions. Like, the answers are just so bizarre. And I'm like, there's no way that you're going to make revenue with that answer. And they think it's good advice because it's all these other business owners, right? One of the main ones we saw a lot was membership. And so we're working on creating a membership course that really breaks down. It's not just have a membership because the spa down the street has a membership. It's have a membership that's going to build revenue, and why have a membership, and what does that mean for your spa, and do your numbers backwards. Like figure out like what are your consumable costs with this membership? What are your labor costs? How much does it really bring into the spa? So being able to offer things like that, and it's an online platform so they can go through the course, as easily and as fast and as slow as they want to, go back, refer to it, provide essentially calculators and Excel documents where they can plug their numbers in, and it totally gives them exactly what they need. There's not a master's in owning a med spa, and we don't want to do this like one master's course because there's so much that goes into it beyond that. But we're making a list of all these topics that we constantly see, and to be able to then go and say, hey, we actually have a course about it. If you want to talk to us, send us a DM. We can chat about this further, but here's kind of, what we have to offer. I really like the coaching side. Summer really likes the other side of like the online portion. So hopefully in the future we get to work with other med spas, and like I would love to do some like coaching one-on-one with them, but that's kind of like where we're at. And then to partner that with a podcast potentially where we can maybe not just bring in medical aesthetics and plastic surgeons and stuff, but we can reach out to multiple branches of business because business owners all deal with a lot of the same problems. So that's kind of like our current projects we have on the table. It's really exciting, and also while still managing everything habit. So it hasn't fully gone there yet, but that's where we're headed. I'm really excited. So hopefully by the time this comes out, we have it on the table soon. But so we've been kind of hush-hush about it, but it's cool. It's cool to put it out there in the universe.
I've been approached in the past to do like mentorship and consulting, and I just haven't been in a place to do that. So it'll be fun to do it on my own terms in the way that I want to see it rolled out versus just trying to say, okay, well, let's get going and go mentor another business. And so it'll be a little bit more thoughtful, organized, and giving people the tools.
Some people don't even know how to open up an LLC. And it's like, you see these things online and you're like, oh God, like, and then on the flip side, I'm like, well, ChatGPT could tell you that. Like, let's be real.
Let's get some AI in here. No, that's very exciting. And I think it's a great issue. Like you mentioned, one thing that we talk about all the time with providers when they're thinking about branching out is that they don't learn any business acumen in school whatsoever. And they get out and then they're like, what do I do? Where do I go? So the fact that you guys have the blueprint for success, you've seen what's worked, and you have that ability to share that knowledge, that wealth of knowledge is going to be amazing.
And that is something that we would love for all of our providers. If they got so successful that they were able to go out on their own, like we would love to have that. And we offer different, compensation agreements kind of if they wanted to do that to see what it would look like. But a lot of them don't know the business side, and they end up coming back because they get so overwhelmed because they don't know everything that goes on in the back end. And so that essentially is a really great resource that we would be providing to be like, no, this is how you start from point A to point B. So it may not be a course on how do I build revenue. It may be a course on how do you just start. There's so much gatekeeping in the industry. There's no one that you can just essentially call and be like, hey, how do I do this? And then if there is, they want thousands and thousands of dollars. And so there's no like big sister to be like, what'd you do? How'd you do it? And everybody wants to profit off that. I mean, like, obviously, yes, we want to make money off our courses and consulting, but just to have it where it doesn't feel like someone's withholding something from you because they always have one up on you.
Yeah.
So
a sense of community.
Absolutely. Which really lacks in the med spa space.
Absolutely.
There's lots of gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So if our listeners want to look at your guys' beautiful website or learn more from you guys, where can they find you?
So our website is goodskinhabit.com. You can find us on Instagram at goodskinhabit. You can find me at lex.engel.
Well, I have two. I have one personal account. I'm trying to think, which one do I get? Probably at the Summer Layton, my personal account. And then we have our aesthetic CEO platforms, but
at the Aesthetic CEO. Yeah. Instagram's launched. We're getting the website up and going. So there's a little email thing. You can put your email in if you want to learn more, but
stay up to date on all the exciting stuff.
Yes. Lots of handles.
Coming soon.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. It has been amazing as always. And thanks so much for sharing all your knowledge.
Of course. Thank
you for
having us.
having us.
Okay, so you run a beauty business, which means you wear like 7 hats, right? Boulevard's all-in-one client experience platform lightens the load. Think seamless scheduling, automated marketing, and built-in ways to make more revenue. Less stress, more success. For a limited time, we're offering podcast listeners 10% off plus free guided setup. Get started at joinblvd.com/podcast.